All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Going to be breaking down round 3 here of the American Express, giving you guys my favorite bets, both for traditional sportsbook bets, so like head-to-head bets and some two-way bets or two-ball bets. I'm going to be showing you guys some prize picks and underdog prop bets that we're getting as well. Thankfully, as I'm recording this, we're getting those pretty awesome. We'll be going ahead and getting to some showdown picks and some underdog picks. We're actually going to start off with that last part first. Let's go ahead and get into it. And so, guys, we know what the strategy is to do, right? We've known it since before the tournament started for showdown purposes. We are going to be targeting the Nicklaus tournament course. Those are the golfers that we want to be going out of our way to roster. The issue that we're going to have for round 3 in showdown or underdog best balls, if you guys are wanting the underdog CSV file, rankings and whatnot, that's going to be available on the Discord. I just uploaded that for anyone that wants to use that. It's available for 9 to 5 members in another way. Phrasing that. And guys, if we look at this is going to be kind of a interesting spot because all these golfers are really not top tier golfers, which it doesn't really matter for showdown purposes. Like, these are all golfers that should be able to go out and score regardless. But look at kind of what their showdown rank kind of would be in general. If this were a normal tournament week, it wouldn't be that good. But these are going to be the golfers that we are going to be going out of our way to roster first for the most part. But because we're not getting that many good golfers on this course like we were kind of yesterday, where all the best golfers were going off on the Nicklaus tournament course in round 2, we can't just like dial up and get to all the Nicklaus tournament course golfers. That's the issue that we have here. So like, we can be looking at the La Quinta course as well. And so when we do that, it is a little bit different, but then we're going to begin to like Ben Griffin, Harry Hall, JT Poston, Henrik Norlander. Like, that's where we're going to be getting a little bit more exposure, but pretty clearly, guys, Sungjae is going to be the top choice. And so again, we'll go ahead and just do some lineups here. What we need to do is kind of adjust some projections here. And honestly, for like these top 3 guys, let's just bump them down to 5. So the 9 to 5 data is already naturally adjusting for the courses that players are playing on. I actually did a massive discount for golfers that are playing off of the stadium course. Now, I do think that those really good golfers are going to change the scoring average on that course most likely. So don't be shocked if that happens. Don't be shocked if it's more under par. But they're still not going to be like predictable, and we want to be chasing the best results possible, which is still going to be that Nicklaus tournament course, and then a little bit as the La Quinta course. So I'm basically off of the original projection, like minus 30 for the stadium course, and then I actually did plus 15 for the Nicklaus tournament course. I really wanted to tell the data be on those golfers if possible, but then I did a plus 7 for the La Quinta course. So what you're actually going to notice here is that we're still getting a ton of the La Quinta course. That's the difficult part. Okay, so if there are certain players that are going off the Nicklaus tournament course and you want to be on them a little bit more, you can do that. I kind of mentioned on the 9 to 5 custom model, you can do that there as well. And so the nice part about doing it this way, guys, is that you look at kind of your average salary remaining just off of the normal stuff. Like, we're going to have some pretty good builds there that are still kind of building correctly, if you will. Whereas, and like this is in the custom model here, guys, it's going to say NT course round 2. Just as an FYI, that still counts. Whatever. I need to change it to round, whatever. So we're going to go ahead and export this here, and then I'll upload it into the cheat sheet so you guys can see it, or up into the lineup builder so you guys can see. And so we're going to upload the data, scroll down to the pop-up. I'm going to upload the CSV file. So I just selected that CSV file. And now what we're going to notice is it's not getting us any exposure to those golfers that are playing on any other courses. And so this is honestly not a terrible way to go about doing it, but again, guys, look at this. Like, you're going to be extremely unique just by doing it this way. And so that's the difficult part. I don't mind the idea of tossing in some lineups like this. I think that is a good idea. But if you are someone that's doing like 150 lineups for, say, in round 3, it's much more tricky. It's much more difficult to navigate. And we're also going to see that there for the underdog stuff there as well. So just a quick recap of the showdowns, guys. I actually ended up losing about $20, very much hit or miss there. Whereas the underdog drafts ended up winning about $45. So it was very, very minimal gains there. Kind of got lucky with my underdog draft. I'll show you guys kind of that real quick. So you guys are going to see kind of the big lineup that ended up being lucky for me. And I'll zoom in a little bit. So the thing that happened was I noticed that I was getting a little bit too much Andrew Novak actually as the last player into my drafts. And so I felt like, and he didn't do well. I felt like I had gotten my proper exposure for him. So then I upped Ricky Fowler, for example. I actually upped Justin Lauer, for example, Billy Horschel. And those actually ended up being some of my best lineups then Now, for the most part, I was actually pretty comfortable getting to Gim. Patrick Fishburne was obviously a pretty big letdown there. If he goes off, it's a little bit better. You guys can see here, really got lucky but not lucky. I mean, that's the whole point of these drafts. It is kind of an unfortunate thing. 150 lineups total. I did 50. You know, I feel like if I did 100 more lineups, probably get closer to winning one game. That, you know, kind of lucky correct combination. That's kind of the issue with the best ball drafts. They're an underdog, but they can be worthwhile. And I think that this one for Showdown and also for best ball drafts is going to be a little bit better. Now, guys, I do want to go ahead and get into some low round bets. So we hit one in round 1 with Nick Taylor bogeying on 18. That ended up being a 3-way chop. That was pretty unfortunate. And then today, Joe Highsmith ends up beating Sanjay M, which was a little bit annoying, and I'm kicking myself. I was going to give you guys Mark Hubbard. That's the second day in a row, and he really went off. And so, look, kind of kicking myself there. But we all know that like first round leader and just betting is one of those things where you just got to be consistent with it. It sucks when you're missing. Obviously, it's easy when you're not. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at just the top 5 golfers on each course here. And so for the La Quinta, could be looking at Ben Griffin, Harry Hall, JT Poston to bounce back after having a bad day today, Henrik Norlander, and also Jonathan Vegas. But let's do it a slightly different way here, guys. Let's actually take a peek at the projected fantasy points for these golfers. And we're going to flip it around here. So it's basically the same, but let's do this. Ben Griffin, Harry Hall, JT Poston, Bill Hosler, and then Daniel Berger. Okay, so we flipped it around, and those are going to be the top 5 there. And that's just obviously how it's sorted right now. We'll do the Nicklaus Tournament course, and we're going to do the same thing. So Sanjay M expected to have a good day. This is kind of crazy. Alex Smalley, Tom Kim, Bazoon Hout, and then also Patrick Rogers. Now, you can get a longer odds bet on someone like Chan Kim. If you guys expect Nick Taylor to go out and play well again, you can. But honestly, he's probably due for a regression day. And then we'll jump back into the Pete Dye course. Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark, Davis Thompson, Max Graceman. So nothing too crazy there. Actually, I don't love any of those too much. I was hoping we would get some more like longer shot bets there, but not terrible. Let's go ahead and jump on into some 3-ball bets. And yes, technically they're kind of like 2-ball bets here. It's a little bit different than head-to-head bets. Someone asked in the comments, like, oh, why are you listing 3-ball bets? I'm like, I'm not going to create a new tool just for one tournament. I'm not going to spend the time doing that. It's still pulling in the data the exact same. So looking at this, guys, we actually, our first day of not having profit with the head-to-head bets or 3-ball bets in 2025. We lost a grand total of minus 0.96 units doing this. And that's because we had 2 pushes, 2 kind of unlucky pushes. There. And so looking at this board, guys, we are getting a high amount of good bets here for sure. It's just kind of how many of these do you want to go out of your way to target? Okay. So we are seeing Bill Hosler over Will Gordon. Rosner, that's a decent one, over Freddie Chapin. Actually, don't hate that. Or Frankie Chapin, sorry. Don't hate that. So you're going to get a 1.4 payout there for betting 1 unit. And honestly, guys, I think I'm pretty okay. These are a lot. I understand if you don't want to do all these bets, but all these ones that are 45% likely or better to hit, I think I'm okay rolling with here. Now, if you just really wanted to go on the top end, you could just do the top 3, but these are going to be the ones I'm rolling with. And really the biggest difference makers are going to be Chan Kim potentially winning and Rosner. Chan Kim is someone that tied Sam Stevens yesterday, so we'll see. Let's go ahead and jump on into some head-to-head bets as well. Are we getting any good ones there? Yesterday, guys, 1 win, 1 loss, and a push. And so we'll jump on into these, scrolling by head-to-head bets. And again, just obviously focusing more on DraftKings, FanDuel, and we'll do BetMGM here. So we're seeing Christian Bazoonhout to beat Harris English as a decent bet. Alex Smalley to beat Patrick Rogers as a decent bet. And it's worth calling out here, guys, for Patrick Rogers, this is if you guys like this bet, this is a much better bet on DraftKings. FanDuel is also giving us that, but you can get on minus 110 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it's going to be minus 115. So not exactly a good bet there. Not terrible, but. And then Chasson Hadley to beat Harry Higgs. Minus 110 there as well. Then we can also do Vince Whaley to beat Grayson Sigg. That's a bet that we had, I think, the first 2 rounds now. And I'm kind of okay going back to that one as well. Again, minus 110. So, several decent options there. I kind of think I like the edges better there on the 2-ball bets, 3-ball bets, whatever you guys want to call them there. Guys, and then real quickly, I need to show you these edges that we are currently getting between PrizePicks and Underdog. This should not be happening. I mean, this line right here, Emiliano Grillo, insane. Okay, so his Underdog line is at 4 for birdies or better. His PrizePicks line is at 5.5. I actually need to stop the video and go place this bet because this is crazy. This should not be happening for birdies or better. Same thing with Patrick Rogers, guys. Hoo-wee. Give me a second. Okay, I got a little bit of exposure to those. They actually pretty much got sniped by the time literally I placed one bet and then they got taken off the board. So we'll see that. But the point here, guys, is we are gaining a decent amount of prop line differences. Now, this might not be available by the time some of you guys are watching it. That's fine. You don't need to place these bets, but I want to call these out. These are the best bets, but you should be placing them as 2-slip bets rather than anything else, because once you add on more bets, because it heavily correlates, your payout's actually going to get worse the more bets you put on. It's weird. So do these as 2-slip bets. So I'm going to show you guys an example of a bet slip, then I'm going to be getting out of here. This will be updating on the 9 to 5 cheat sheet, guys. I do want to call out real quickly the edge here for these bets. Don't really go too crazy with the edge bets, especially for round 3 and round 2. This is going to be better tomorrow, but I did just want to call that out. We had a good success in round 1. No need to like push it now in round 3, and that's simply because of the 3-course rotation. Sure, like these bets would probably still be the best bets here, but I don't want to go out of my way to target those. What we should be doing, especially for round 3, is just targeting these prop line differences that we were getting. That's the best route to go currently, guys. And so I need to finish up so a lot of you guys can get these bets, but I'll show you guys the bet of the day. All right, guys, so getting into the 9 to 5 bet of the day here for PrizePicks and for Underdog. The only way I would suggest using these bets is if you are, 1, going to bet them on Underdog, but 2, run these out as 2-slip bets as well. Now, if you're a 9 to 5 member and maybe you're using the PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheet, you could just find another bet that you really like on that site and just go with that. But really the strategy should be, all right, Charlie Hoffman with Justin Thomas, Charlie Hoffman with Patrick Cantlay, Charlie Hoffman with Sam Burns, Charlie Hoffman with Ricky Fowler. And then you're going to do that all over again. Ricky Fowler with Sam Burns, Ricky Fowler with Patrick Cantlay, Ricky Fowler with Justin Thomas. And then you're going to do that for all the bets. Then you would have to go ahead and do that on Underdog as well. Yes, it's tedious, guys, but it's going to pay off. These are big prop line differences that should not be occurring. Hopefully you guys are able to get in those before any of the lines changes. I would start with Charlie Hoffman and Ricky Fowler because those are the 2 biggest ones, and then kind of go from there. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Again, if you guys want access to that cheat sheet or the PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheets, head on over to 9to5sports.com. You can get access to that for $10 a month, as well as all the fantasy golf tools that you saw in this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck with all your round 3 bets. Hopefully Showdown picks go that good way for you guys. Hopefully the cut sweat goes your way. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be a fun day tomorrow for fantasy golf. All right, guys, that's all. Good luck, and as always, let's keep cashing.